Welcome back to the Cephied Variable. This is your referee, Chris, and I'm here to thank the fine folks at Patreon before we hop into this episode. They are Nelson, Tyler, Garth, Ben, Jeremy, Hovo, H-O-V-O, Laszlo, Randy G, Thomas, Colby, Yam, Randy, Miles, Jarowren, and Taylor. Thank you again for your continued support of us here. It warms my heart to see that, and if you'd like to join our Patreon, well, just check out the show notes, and they are there. Now, before we go any further into this episode, I have two podcasts that I need to shout out, because they're friends of the show, and, well, we love them. And as you know, we started out doing Delta Green, so I have a Delta Green podcast for you if you need more of that spookiness in your life. We got 9mm Retirement Radio. Now, Max and the crew over there are telling a pretty awesome story so far. There's 2 episodes out. I believe they're going to be releasing bi-weekly or bi-monthly, so once every other week. Awesome music. It's kind of similar to Stories and Lies, where it's highly edited and sound effects and all that. Really, really good stuff so far. Go check them out. They're awesome people. And the other one I want to shout out is our buddy Cody, who I was trying to interview, but they got kind of screwed up. They have finally released Suffer Not. They have released 4 episodes so far of Chapter 1 is Apollo's Cradle, and it is a Call of Cthulhu set in like the early 1900s, and the tone and everything is just perfect. It's uneasy, tension building, awesome sound effects, the music's really good, everyone's top-notch voice. Both of these podcasts have amazing production value right out the gate, which is exactly what you look for. Very highly edited, lots of sound effects, all that. So I can't recommend these 2 shows enough if you're looking for more spookiness in your life. But yeah, that's all I got. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Major Freck comes across your guys' screen of your ship. Wet features staring at you.
Wet features?
He's amphibian.
He's just dripping.
Just dripping.
Exactly. That's a spicy place on Reddit.
And he looks at you, he's like, we feel that your help would be best needed on the emissary group. So we'd like you guys to help there. Obviously, if you have a different choice, we can talk about that. But I think for now, with Miss Toots, it seems to me you had some diplomatic experience. If I remember correctly, we talked about Zander had mentioned that it might be best for you guys to go there and figure that part out. So that's if you're willing to help, we would like you guys to go that route.
Major, we'd be glad to help. Yeah. We need to do whatever we can to ensure the safety of this place.
Okay.
Is it a colony, or were they calling it an outpost?
Where they're going?
Or no, like where we are.
You're like an outpost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a colony.
Whatever we can do to ensure the safety of the outpost.
Yeah. So, perfect. All right, excellent. If you want to meet up with Miss Sarah Cheshire, come to the base. I'll send a vehicle escort out for you to get there. You can meet up with the emissary team, and you can ride out that way with them. That'd be very helpful. We'll keep you abreast of what we find in the hold as well. But
perfect. We'll get ready to go immediately.
Excellent. Shuts down.
So what's the difference between this outpost and the one that we were on? I know the one that we were on was pretty small. This one seems a little bit bigger.
This one's on planet.
Okay.
The one
we were in a space station.
Right,
yeah, you guys are in like a space station.
I think I still want to keep an eye on any symptoms or signs of people smuggling drugs.
Sure.
Just because I don't like...
Be a little bit of PTSD.
Yeah, they're just setting us up with a bunch of people and this Sarah Cheshire and this...
Okay.
Not
yeah,
Blex.
it definitely seems like this is more of
Freck.
like a permanent living situation kind of thing.
Yeah,
They're not here monitoring stuff. They're trying to make a living.
If I was smuggling drugs, I would love to get it to the local population.
It's true.
Like, I would love to get it into these.
We also got to figure out if these bug people even do drugs.
Yeah.
Whoa, true.
Maybe they've got good drugs.
Yeah, maybe they got better drugs than us.
That was very humanist of me.
Yeah.
You're right.
Maybe it's the whale. Maybe the whale just ate a whole bunch of drugs and was like, yippee!
Or maybe the ants
Maybe there's
are
some
the
kind of
drugs.
whale spice we can get here.
Maybe they need.
Dude, maybe the bugs
Their
are the
blood.
drug. I shouldn't call them bugs. That's humanist of me.
It's true. I mean, yeah, that's
Makes me think of Three-Body, dude. It's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
In this gaming system, how difficult is it to learn a language?
I would assume you probably have to work on it. Like, it'd just be another skill that you would
training.
training.
Speaking of which, it says I'm 11 weeks into 16 weeks of training. Is that accurate?
No.
No, you should be 2 weeks
Oh,
in.
maybe that's 2 notches.
Yeah, it's 2 notches.
I was like, dude, was it a huge jump?
I'm definitely only 2 weeks.
Okay. I must not have wanted to erase the 1, and I just added another tick mark.
Okay.
So, all right. Zander will kind of turn team. All right, everybody, let's get ready to go. We're going to help this emissary group out. Toots, I think this is probably going to be your area of expertise here. You're a diplomat. air quotes around that.
It's so accurate.
To be fair, I rolled a 5, so I did not pick this to get Toots involved. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to drag her along no matter what we did.
Yeah. I mean, she's just kind of like chewing bubble gum and being like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun if one of our players just played a separate story from all the other 3.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
The
That
convoluted.
would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
He becomes a Pong streamer.
She has like several crypto scams.
Yeah,
like, several
exactly.
pump and dumps.
Yeah. Pong Coin 5. This one's really going to work out.
Buy now,
Yeah,
everybody.
now's
I'm
the
telling
time.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
To the moon.
If you're not
Yes.
buying, you are broke.
Exactly.
Oh.
You're broke.
This
Ape
is-
together strong.
You guys are writing Toots so well.
Yeah. I bring my, my scouting drone thing. Like, not scouting drone.
I'm definitely bringing my laser carbine.
Okay,
just in case.
Oh, yeah. I'm bringing
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
down.
Yeah, I mean,
But also then be like, Blex, make sure you keep a monitor on the ship in the area. If that thing comes back, I want to know with enough time.
Yes, sir.
that's cool. And we could say, I'm trying to think, what kind of role would Blex have to do to maybe spend some time trying to hack into the system? Maybe a computer's role to see if he can get Brent in there.
Yeah. I have
2 in Technobabble.
sorry. I have a 1 in computers, but I also have my expert program that I can help run.
Yeah. Okay. You want to give me? Let's figure out how long this would take.
What's your skill in prompt engineering?
Yeah. Cody, you're too smart for me. I don't know, bro.
God damn it.
What is that a reference to?
Oh,
What do I-
AI. Yeah. It's
okay,
essentially the way that things are going now, there's no way this sci-fi world exists without AI.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
There's absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just try to. It's listening right now, so I just always try to be respectful. When I talk to Siri, I say please and thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
It's.
I, for one, welcome my machine gods.
I
know.
do
I'm
not
gonna be
ever
the top
want to
of the
bow to the
slave
hallucination
pyramid.
machine.
I was talking about. I was thinking about this. We had our talk on AI. I don't think I necessarily have an issue with AI existing. I have an issue with how humanity is going to use it to fuck over other humans, and I'm
Right.
against that aspect.
I'm
Right.
against generative AI. Like anything that creates images, anything that will do a kid's homework for them,
You're gonna
that kind of
hate your
thing.
future then. Holy
I
shit.
know, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
really
yeah.
hate it. I mean, but it's it is a very impressive and useful technology
Oh,
for
absolutely.
a lot.
for a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's just that
Endless.
we're always going to use it.
applications.
People are always going to use it the wrong way.
Incorrectly. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
So I'm assuming we are going to be hacking into a secure computer network. Does that sound about right here?
Well, I don't. So maybe I'll ask permission. I don't want to hack and get us in trouble. I do want to work with the Prime Dominion. I just want to keep an eye on things.
Gotcha.
I would like to monitor. I don't necessarily need to, feed that information straight to me. I just want Brent to be able to monitor it and then alert us if there's danger.
Okay, so that might be more of a like a diplomat or a like try to smooth talk?
Yeah, maybe admin.
Oh,
Let's see, admin.
I'm thinking admin or diplomat, and if it's diplomat, it'd probably be Toots. I have admin 1.
admin's more for like legal stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
Which this could, I could make an argument that this is
the navigation of bureaucratic obstacles or disasters.
Oh,
So it could be a bureaucratic obstacle, arguably.
all right. You know what? Let's go with it. I like it. We got it.
Okay.
I'll say 10 plus.
Ooh, okay.
It's gonna be tough
I'm gonna use my
because
intellect.
they don't know you. So
Nice. Yeah. That's,
yeah, I'd say intellect or social would probably be the choices here.
Oh, is there any way I could use my education? I understand if I cannot. No, I don't think that'd be applicable.
Let's say you learned it in school. That'd be the thing.
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna use intellect.
Most of them, yeah, like where is it here? Yeah, it says here, most of them are education or social. It says so.
I think Blex's education was more focused towards
The
science,
hacking,
yeah,
yeah,
because I
science stuff.
specifically did say he took those like courses and everything.
So,
I'm gonna go with admin. I got a +2.
what did we get?
Nailed it! I got a 13 total.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, you are. They are able to. I don't know if it's like a little chip or like a thumb drive that you have Brent on that you. Like an extra thing, like what does it look like when you get Brent in this system? Like you gotta have something plugged in somewhere, right?
The wafer jack is connected to the like neural computer, and that's like a cable that comes out of his neck.
Right, but if you're gonna leave Brent there, right, while you go,
He's not gonna leave. No.
oh, so you're gonna stay
So
there.
this is something that I confused myself with earlier. Brent does not live in my brain. Brent is a computer program. I have access to him in my brain, so he
Right.
can be several places.
Sure, that's why I was like, are you gonna leave him there to gather the information?
No, I'm not leaving him anywhere.
you can have him install an agent at the outpost's computer that he can maybe communicate.
Right, he can monitor and this is my like thought process is a computer program can monitor and look at another computer program.
Sure, it's not gonna be like real time data. Essentially, you're gonna leave him there on the computer, not as a copy of him.
I see
there.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he's not like physical. You're gonna like there's
Yeah.
a thumb drive he's
I'm
on.
thinking
You're plugging the thumb
physically
drive
leave
in.
him there.
I mean,
Yes.
If they have wireless connectivity, then essentially, if you're opening a port like to their, like
Sure,
if he has a
but
way of connecting,
There's
got to
be something that you take out, you plug into a machine. He gets himself onto
Exactly.
it. You
I
plug,
unplug it,
Yes,
I put it
yeah,
back, and then we're all yeah.
So I just didn't know if he was on like a thumb drive or how it would look, but yeah. So
Got it.
We're
there
slowly
you go.
killing future people when they're like listen back to these historic documents. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, robots on thumb drives. Can you believe what
What
they lived
idiots.
through?"
They didn't use AI clouds.
Yeah.
Stupid asses.
AI clouds.
you should have been using the Amazon services.
Yeah. I actually just log into my AWS account.
Yeah.
It's just the background of everything in
Yeah.
the future. Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
So we see you guys meet up. You see this little golf cart esque, not golf, but whatever
Golf cart.
Yeah.
golf cart, whatever the
Land rover, like a
A
little
hover
dune boogie.
golf cart.
hover golf cart,
Yeah.
Dune boogie.
a dune boogie. That works. There you go. Yeah,
Little dune booger.
we'll get a little dune buggy.
A hover dune buggy.
Hover dune buggy. Kind of defeats the purpose of a dune buggy. It feels like.
Yeah.
No, the jets spray the sand.
Yeah.
Like when it goes over the sand, or just sprays sand constantly. So there's like a
Yeah.
like a snail trail.
You
of
have to
sand.
load sand in.
The sand blasting is what powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so they call it hover technology, but it's really just propulsion. The sand is just blasting it above.
It's the future, man. We've sand-based
Sand-based travel.
propulsion
Yeah.
systems.
How many worm powers does that have?
This is 80 million worm powers.
We see you guys get into this space hover dune buggy powered by sand.
Sarah Cheshire.
You're going to meet her. You guys are brought to the other side of the complex. Like, you don't go into the main complex, you kind of skirt the corner or the edges.
Skirt.
Skirt!
I'm a swerve, I'm gonna whoa.
You arrive at another, like, set of buildings, and you are ushered inside to be... It's a little bit nicer in here. It's much more sterile looking. You would assume it's probably science lab area. The emissaries are kind of in that same, not like industrialized area, I guess probably be the proper term. Everyone here's a little bit more nicely dressed. You don't know why, but probably, giving off that era.
Look nice for the
Exactly. Yeah.
natives.
Yeah.
Even though they don't know or care.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but the Prime Dominion wants to put on that first appearance. It's like, this guy's coming out looking sharp dressed. All those songs about being sharp dressed man and all the other songs.
The one ZZ Tops.
The one song. Yeah. It's a good song.
I love this.
I love it. ZZ Top's great.
Yeah.
So I got to see them live before the bass player died.
Do one of these.
Oh, they did that.
One of these.
I was the only person who do the song. They played the song from Dusk Till Dawn, and I was the only person in the crowd who knew it, and I was
Nice,
stoked as shit.
Yeah.
And then my parents got mad at somebody for smoking weed behind us
What?
at the Pure Fair. Yeah, I was like, fucking ZZ Top. Like, even
What?
I'm like 10, and I fucking know that this is ZZ Top. Like, what the fuck is going to happen? Any concert you go to is just going to be weed.
Yeah.
So,
Especially ZZ Top, brother.
like, all these fucking double innuendo songs about, just
They're
get
from
out of here.
Texas.
Yeah. Get out of here. You enter into this space. Like I said, people are running around here, walking around. There seems to be a meeting room of sorts that you were ushered into. I'm thinking that kind of similar to the outpost that you guys visited. A lot of this stuff is probably like modular and put together.
Oh, that would make sense.
So, so everything kind of still has that weird, roughly cubed shape. Like the panels, you can see where the separations of the floor joists are put together. But in here, there's some probably like glass walls that separate certain areas and whatnot. And you were led into a meeting room that is led by a woman that looks to be probably about 5'6", 5'7". She has short blonde hair. She has a rounder face. I did not cast her yet because I wasn't sure who I wanted. I think I was kind of thinking like Reese Witherspoon was the casting for this, but I wasn't
Big
sure.
role, so she's important.
That was the other thing. If I cast too big of a role,
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
I don't know how important this person's going to be.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, she is leading this group, and she has a gray and blue kind of work suit, all like kind of just one piece work suit together. It's got like the Prime Dominion logo on it, and she welcomes you in. She greets you just like, "Hello, I'm Sarah Cheshire. You can just Sarah's fine. Don't worry about the last name thing. We're not going to be no miss anything like that. Just Sarah's completely fine."
She's evil.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Nice to meet you too. Please sit down. We're just kind of going over the game plan on this visit and what we're all hoping to accomplish. And obviously, if you have any inputs or anything that you'd like to see, we're more than welcome to hear you out. But thank you for coming. You see, there's probably a little assortment of beverages and food over in the corner if anybody wants to go grab a snack. I think there's mostly humans in here. There's probably a couple other, maybe like a Vargar, some other species in here. But for the most part, it's all human beings with you guys. And she's just like, okay, well, last night was quite eventful. The science team and everything that we've been able to determine. We have an unknown creature of pretty titanic size, roughly 300 feet long, flying. We're not 100% sure on that, but definitely took flight. It definitely flew about 300 feet before crashing into the earth again. It left a massive hole.
Toot is very confused.
She didn't see anything.
And no one told her.
Oh, we would have shown you videos.
I think if she would have looked out the window, she probably would have seen. But if she didn't,
I don't think she would have.
Yeah. And I think there are probably shots of this thing, blurry photos that were taken from any drones in the air or whatnot. She's like, we were unaware of creatures of this size on this planet, so this is definitely something new for us. Part of the reason that we want to make this trip today is to try to establish communications with the she's trying to stop from calling them the
Clickers.
the clickers, and the
native population.
Yes, exactly. So she stops with the native population. We've yet to be able to fully understand what they call themselves, so I don't want to refer to them in any derogatory term. So the native population. Our goal is to try to figure out if they know anything about these creatures and fine-tune our instruments more for having communications with them as well. But yeah, we obviously are going to bring some supplies to them. We've got some water. We've got some fruits and vegetables that we've been growing that we're going to continue to trade with. And yeah, that's kind of the general plan. And she kind of looks at you newcomers. Have any questions or anything?
Raise my hand.
Yes, you who hasn't introduced yourself because you're rude.
Hi, Lieutenant Colonel Zander.
I gave you my name, but
have you had any negative interactions with this particular population of locals? I know there's been talk about some occasional problems, but where we're going.
No, I don't foresee. Obviously, we will have a small security force with us to be safe. We're never 100% sure what's going to happen. But over the past, I would say, dozen visits or so, maybe let's say the last month or so, we've gone 2 visits without any sort of security force and had no issues with them. I think they understand our commitment to being nonviolent and helping them out, and I think they're finally starting to see that. We were able to a lot of hand gestures that we're trying to continue to understand what they're saying. The
all
language
of them are just like
middle fingers.
Fingers and shove it up your ass.
They keep holding up 2 fingers a lot like this. But yes, I don't foresee there being any issues here. They've been relatively docile. The clan that I say clan in the sense of that's the understanding that we have of the layout of their society. They are pretty close to the surface, so it's not too.
Do they live in a tunnel that looks like possibly made by that creature?
That's what we're theorizing. That some of the sizes of these tunnels now are making sense. The creatures themselves stand at they're about like 1 to 1.5 meters tall. So I mean they're like 5 was that like 5 feet tall, 4 or 5 feet tall,
4 or 5-ish feet.
Yeah, so they're not super tall.
Thank you for converting it into freedom.
You're welcome. So hopefully if Canada goes through and annexes us, we'll be on the right system. But
love that, because more poutine.
You can get poutine here.
Well, I mean, it's not. Have you had poutine in Canada though?
No, I haven't been to Canada in years.
Oh, okay. Because poutine in Canada is on a different.
Oh, I'm sure. The last time I went to Canada was for my buddy's band Vanguard played right before I went to college, and so I went with them to be a roadie / merch guy. It's the only time I've ever moshed at a hardcore show was in Canada because no one was there to believe it. So
did you?
It doesn't count when it's in Canada.
Did you happen to watch the Team USA versus Team Canada game?
I heard there were 3 fights in like the first 9 seconds.
Yeah, we didn't fucking get annexed last night, baby.
It's true, we won.
Yeah.
So, but that's a hockey thing.
Games.
The mosh, is everyone like apologizing to each other? Like, oh, sorry. It's
No.
all here.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, they were actually really surprisingly racist up in Canada when I
Canada,
went.
honestly, some of the hardest moshers I've ever seen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I remember the one group. The one group we were with was cool. Like when I saw some other folks I'd known, they were pretty racist. I was like,
oh damn.
But
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me. They all lived in. It was the nicest house I've ever been into in my life. Like the door to their house was taller than a normal person's house.
Oh,
like their door itself was like a story and a half. It was stupid.
I want that door.
I want that too.
It was huge. So
I want to be scared. The second I walk into someone's house, I want that authority to be there.
no, absolutely, it was there. Trust me.
I want it.
So Sarah kind of she like, you guys haven't been here before, so please excuse me. Let me give you a little bit about the folks, the native habitation here. You probably haven't seen them yet. And she kind of like clicks a button, and you see this screen pop up, and you see these native species. They are, like I said, 1.5 meters tall, and they are large, like chitinous shells that look like they protect them from harm. They have 8 legs that are similar to a spider, and they have 4 arms as well. And 2 of the arms are larger, 2 of them are smaller. So you assume, they're not. You don't know a whole lot of what it's about, but I'm thinking that they probably have like a thorax, and they're up like
They upright or
They're upright. Yeah, so I think there's like a thorax part where they're kind of upright, kind of like the spider people from Warcraft. I don't remember what they.
Oh, yeah,
They,
yeah.
shit.
It doesn't matter.
Encourage.
Sure. Yeah, whatever you want to say.
Encra.
Yeah. So I think my idea was kind of like humanoid-esque top, but with like a spidery bottom, but they're still
So spider
alien.
centaur.
Yeah, we'll go spider centaurs. I like it. But they're not humanoid on top. It's just their body has the upper area. And they have their heads are kind of like long, elongated, and they end in this like whip-like appendage from their heads. So
Interesting.
So like Gary Oldman in Lost in Space.
Oh, Jesus.
you talking about like the Matt LeBlanc one?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
But that one's amazing.
I do remember.
I was thinking more of like elongated, like an alien, like a xenomorph.
Oh, I see.
But like at a point, it kind of curves into like a whip, like a long. It's longer than that,
That's
obviously.
terrifying.
I'm gonna look this up so that no one thinks I'm crazy.
I believe you.
Because also Matt LeBlanc in the 90s was tasty.
And you see that like the appendage itself ends, and like some of them have it decorated. Like some of them have, they're like
Answers my
like
question.
stone blades on the ends of some of them. Some of them
Oh.
end in like rocks or like flowers or
Goddamn.
beads.
Do they use this as weapons? You've seen
She's
it?
like, I mean, it seems like it's some form of a weapon for them. Yes, that they can use it as needed. You see that they have 4 eyes, and their teeth are rounded more than they like carnivores. And so you're assuming that they probably are herbivores or like crush stuff more than they do tear and rip. Would be. I mean, you guys have science, biology, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. So Blex would be all night. Be like, okay, you're
tracks.
processing it all. You see that a lot of like the things they have are definitely very primitive, like weaponry and masonry tools, but they're able to craft like their huts and everything are very well lined up. The edges are straight. It looks like they take a lot of pride in their settlements.
They have
underground.
a protractor.
Yes, you would think so. Or maybe they just hold up. Maybe that's one of the little arms is for, so they can just trace it up.
They're like perpendicular. Yes.
So, but yeah, you definitely notice like a lot of time and effort and care goes into like these settlements at these photos. Like everything is lined up and orderly. It doesn't look like there's just like huts around. Everything is kind of carved into the wall. There's like steps leading up or ladders leading up. Kind of like a pueblo where like my idea was like it's just basically you take a wall and it's just all of these holes, and then there's stairs and ladders connecting to these walls, and like they sleep in those areas, and then the bottom floor is much more like open spaces, but the walls are covered in these holes where they sleep, and then they come to the middle where everything is.
What's that like ancient, that like huge city in like Jordan where they do that? It's like
I don't know.
just like on
Yeah.
the side of like a cliff, and
Oh,
it's just
shut
like
up, yeah.
Oh.
pockets of like houses that they've like carved
Yeah.
into them.
Oh shit! I didn't think it was in Jordan. I thought it was in like.
I'm
Arizona
probably
or
wrong.
Yeah.
You said Arizona?
Well, there's it's like
Close.
southern.
Native American settlement.
Yeah.
No, we're thinking of two different things.
We must
It
be.
sounds similar.
Because Jordan's not even close there, so
And it's
Heard
like not. It's some never mind.
ancient. I mean,
No, I don't
the
think. I
Americans
don't
be
think.
ancient.
So. I
too.
think people.
Oh,
are
it's
like,
pretty new.
I,
Gotcha.
No, I don't think it's new. I
Right.
think people are like.
But not like
Yeah,
they-
like I think people are like living there.
Gotcha. So that's what you guys see is he's like kind of hitting these slideshows. So you're seeing like they just these. She's like, we were going to be entering by foot. We'll take vehicles to the edge of the cavern, the system. We'll walk on foot from there. You are probably going to want to wear a vac suit as we get down in there, just to be safe. We've left. There's basically a pathway of lights to follow to kind of get us back there. Sorry, the big long breath there. There are certain tunnels that we just haven't got a chance to explore yet, so just do your best to follow the lights when we get in there. And no one's going to get separated, but just know that when we get down there.
And we're welcome. They know we're coming, like based on a cadence or
No, we just
we just show up.
we show up.
Okay.
We're
Shove
like the
away guns at them.
in-laws.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to announce.
We shoot guns before we go down inside, so they know.
Have there been any
Yay-ho.
altercations recently? Or
No. No, we haven't had an altercation with them in a little bit. It's been the past couple of meetings have been good.
Okay.
They're so we will usually, as we approach, we'll kind of bang on the ground to give them a signal we're coming, or make kind of a noise so they understand. But typically we try to meet like once a week, so we'll come down like on a Tuesday, so they have the time frame, and we show up at that time. And so this will be a little bit different, but I don't see there being any reason why they wouldn't be welcoming of us. And so, yeah, and I think a lot of what you see is, like in this area, the folks have like very crude, doesn't look like they have any armor like that they wear, but their weapons are basically just like, sticks with, like a sharpened rock on the end, or they don't even have a stick at all. It's just like a big long piece of stone that's been chiseled down on one end that they use to dig stuff out. So, but yeah, that's what you guys that's a little crash course she gives you on them. And we see, if you guys have any other questions or anything?
No, nothing. I mean, so if I understand this right, basically we're going to drive up there, park kind of well outside their settlement, walk our way in there, and we're dropping off food and supplies.
Yes.
But we're also trying to further communication step.
Yes. The goal of this time, obviously we're going to bring the food, the water, and everything as kind of a gesture, and we want to try to understand what that thing was. That kind of goes back to the blurry screenshots of this massive whale breaching.
So I'd like to either have like some kind of personal device that has a recording of it or a drawing of it or whatever. So I'd like that prepared. And like, if I don't have it, then I'll just draw it or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think it's like, we definitely have. We've got ways of communicating with them, I think. But yeah, drawing's perfect. We've had a couple artists done. We had photos, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Any other questions or anything? Doesn't sound like it.
Blex has a comment.
Okay.
I think Blex is like, are the dwellings maybe like the old Terran ancient city of the Manazan in Turkey, which is just a cave city?
Oh wow.
Closer.
Yes,
than
very
ours.
much so. Yes, that's a great idea. Yes, absolutely, sir. I'm glad to see you're a man of science and history as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
About 40,000 caves carved into...
I don't think it's that many, but definitely a similar style. Yes.
Well, I was talking about the older...
Absolutely,
yeah.
yes.
I wouldn't expect you to know.
I guess a quick question is like, has she mentioned who we're meeting with? Like, is it like the known leader of the what? Like,
they assume so. Like, there's like usually like a tribal chief that will come. Like she'd probably tell you like, we're looking for the native that has a kind of a collar of feathers, or like branches, and they're colored. And then their headpiece as well. They have a purple headpiece that kind of comes off their head, made of short sticks that have been lashed together. So he seems to be the leader. He's the one that we talk to the most. Everyone gives him reverence. They clear the pathway when he approaches, so we assume he's the one leading this group.
Which is curious, because usually in insects, it's the female that leads the army.
Maybe I'm just sexist.
And humanist.
Yes. Well, obviously. We've established that. So.
Okay, so how do they communicate to us? Like obviously we're doing things to try to illustrate things, but like, have they? Not only how are they sort of attempting to communicate, but what do we know about what they've communicated?
And she's like, well, they have hand gestures and whatnot that we've tried to pick up on. Certain movements they do with their fingers, almost like a sign language of sorts. They have a clicking kind of guttural language that we're working on getting a database of. We're noticing patterns of certain sounds that are made over and over again, so we're trying to line them up for what we're trying to accomplish. Other than that, if we draw, we will write out, or we'll draw certain things and point, and they will draw certain things out as well. It's still very early on, so we're hopeful that the information we're getting is relevant to what we're doing, but we just don't know a whole ton yet. That's the unfortunate side of this.
So I guess so to summarize, what have we known or suspected that they're communicating? Is it like they want to work with us, or they don't want us here, or they want a specific resource, or they don't want us to touch a specific resource? Like, do we know anything about that?
Sure. And she's like, well, I mean, we definitely know they will have weapons drawn at us if they don't want us there. That has been clearly obvious a couple times. But the overall impression we've gotten so far from talking with them and working with them is that they welcome us here, that we are a trade partner now. And I think once we get the key unlocked of understanding each other, I think then we'll truly have a lot of growth and be able to fold them into the Dominion. But right now it's just getting that trust and trying to learn that part. And I don't think it's going to be... I think it's going to take a while. I don't think this is an overnight process, obviously. We're still trying to understand certain, forearm touch versus, touch on the forearm versus, the
elbow sex.
The elbow. We don't know how they have sex yet. We haven't seen that yet.
We haven't seen fucking yet, but...
We tried. We tried really hard, but they just pushed us out of the room.
Do any of them have
The
insect
prudes.
boobs?
Good question.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's
Meescha.
like, how is the Rule 34?
I'm going to say no, because I don't think... I'm pretty sure that bugs don't lactate.
Oh, so now you're interested in
I
science.
mean,
Yeah, so
Sure.
now,
My bad.
how humanist
Sorry.
of you,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Big old honking ant,
Yeah.
just ant boobs.
Thank you.
7 ant boobs per female.
I love an odd number.
Just swinging.
Odd number boobs.
just constantly lactating.
Is that what you
Every time, every session. Just some shit.
All right, there you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. Draw it up.
All you
Yeah.
horny.
It was a
listeners out there.
pertinent question.
No, yeah.
There's one of you out there.
There's one.
We have a lot of
Just
listens now. One of you is a
shelving
freak.
Multiple probably are.
If you're
We
gooning
know
right
you're-
now, stop.
You're munting out there.
Yeah, dude, no.
dude.
We draw the line at Munton.
Still don't know.
I would like to say that Toot does not like Cheshire at all.
That's fine.
One iota.
That's
So,
cool.
Just putting that out there.
She seems very idealistic about what's going on.
Yeah,
She
yeah. That's what
seems
I'm
very
getting.
happy with it
Right.
all. Which totally get, yeah.
She gives us totally like she's
If there's a
painting-
Kool-Aid, she's drinking it, and she's probably mixing that Kool-Aid for others is the vibe that you get.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, she's very much still like trying to get this figured out. And so I think that's the vibe you get is it's still very early on, but she's still,
Optimistic
Yeah.
about diplomatic.
yeah.
I guess lastly,
Cohesion.
like, what boundaries have they drawn that's very clear? Is it like specific areas that they have not let us into, or specific resources that
Or
they have,
days, or
like
times of
very
the moon?
clearly said like no? Or yet,
And she kind of thinks about it. She's like, well, no, I mean, we haven't really, we typically try to go during the day because we just travel at night. We just don't know enough about the environment. There aren't a whole ton of predatory animals on here on the surface, but just night, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Traveling
apparently
the
they
day.
dig. Apparently they dig.
That's one of those things. So I think it's just kind of we haven't gone much further than their once we found them, we've been much more focused on the relationship aspect and exploring more. There are still tunnels here that might have other groups as well that we haven't gone through, but we found one and we've been working with them and trying to understand. So
Are there any secret tunnels? Secret
Probably.
tunnel. Secret tunnel. Sorry.
I would assume so. Yes, they go through a mountain. That's typically how they work.
what's my bullshit detector skill? Is there a way to do that?
Oh, is there a human equivalent?
Yeah.
Social makes sense.
I don't know what I would even check though. Like, even if I check something with social, like I already sense the BS coming out of her. So it's like, well, what would you?
I think I specifically wanted that last statement of like, because like I wanted to see if she was dancing around like clear boundaries that they've drawn. Because I think it's a pretty apropos question. Is like if she wanted to gloss over that, like that would be the moment to.
Yeah,
to
I guess maybe give me a. Investigate maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a Investigate sounds good. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I think that I guess we'll
Cool.
We'll go
and
with
then
that.
Probably add social or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a
A
0.
plus.
So, all right. So that's going to be an 8. Yeah. So is it difficulty 8 or 10?
8. Woo! Yeah, you don't get the sense that she's
Withholding.
Yeah, once they found this group, they've been going back there to try to get the ties. Like, that's been their main focus. And she'll even say, there's definitely more areas to explore. It's a pretty labyrinthian network underneath there. So for now, we're just trying to work with this one group. Start small, get them on our side, talk with them, and then we can start to branch out and try to figure everything out around that. But for now, we're just focused on this locals that we know that they're not hostile towards us anymore.
Anymore.
Anytime you come to a new planet, you've seen someone who doesn't look like you. I mean, we've seen how humanity has dealt with that, right? I mean, why wouldn't anything else? They think we're going to try to take their land, their property. They don't know what we are. So
there haven't been any instances of the Prime Dominion landing on a planet where they are welcomed with diplomatic relations. It's every single time they land, there's a conflict.
No, I'm sure there are somewhere there aren't.
In order to indoctrinate, you must out-doctrinate.
Are you asking this out of character, or are you asking this as Blex?
I guess both, because I feel now kind of confused. What is the answer to both of those?
So there are, absolutely, there would be certain areas they land where there might be. It just depends on what the planet is. In this specific case, when they landed here and they started talking with these folks, they were very standoffish.
And that's okay. So did Sarah Cheshire say, well, every time you land on a planet, they hate you?
No, that was me.
Okay.
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems a pertinent question.
Yeah.
So, but she's like, when we landed here, we tried to get they were less than thrilled. They didn't know who we were, so obviously they were standoffish, defensive, and we were able, once we started showing them that we're here for trade and giving them the goods and everything, they opened up to us, and they started giving us items back. She holds up she's got a red ruby. She's like, they gave me one of these rocks. Don't know what it does, but it was important to them.
It's one of their offspring, and she's just holding it up. Isn't it pretty? It's just like a baby.
You see something flickering inside, swimming around.
Yeah.
And she's like, so yeah, it's just this is the progress we're going to make, and we know that this is it'll take time. It's not going to be something that happens overnight. But I'm really happy with what we've made so far, and I think we're pretty close to a breakthrough. I think once we can figure out how to talk with them properly, I think things are going to change, and we're really going to turn that corner.
I would like to do a check to see if she was telling the truth. Does she actually think that's a gift, or did they take it?
It's like a cancer gem.
Yeah.
What?
Or did they?
They're here's poison, lady.
Yeah.
Did they pillage to take it, or were they gifted? That's what I would like.
I don't know if you would be. I'm trying to think what you could tell.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, yeah,
because she might actually think it was a gift,
right?
Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to. It's does she believe it?
She believes. Yeah, you could tell she believes this was a gift. They gave this to her. This is one of it's a trinket that they she holds dear because it's
it's
I know when the yeah right exactly she doesn't know what this is, but she's the leader showed up. We'd given the food. We were having a lot of forearm talk and touching the heads. There's a lot of clicks on their end. Again, we're still trying to get that figured out. I was trying to mimic their clicks, and we were trying to understand, get the vocal pattern set up so we can understand it with everything. But and then he reached in a pouch that he carried, and he pulled out this red rock and he gave it to me, and he just went. And I took it and I bowed and went back. I don't know if it was the proper tongue. It felt a little disingenuous because I don't know if I got all the inflection that was needed. But
it's actually suppository, and you insulted his people.
Could be.
By not shoving it up your ass.
But she's like, so I've been holding on to this as kind of a there's light at the end of the tunnel, and this little guy is the first little speck that I can see.
Given that the stone is red, and given that you're Chris, and then given that we already made a Chrono Trigger reference, I'm going to say Dreamstone.
Dreamstone, calling it.
Red Rock is Dreamstone.
Put a lot of faith in me, though, to put that deep of stuff in there. So.
All right.
Cool.
No more questions for me.
Okay.
Toot is just kind of making her own plan in her head. She doesn't believe a word this lady's saying. She's gonna try to
shoot her as soon as she gets down there.
Yeah.
Toots program.
She's gonna
yeah.
think about it a lot, but like it's one of those like she imagines it, but then it like shifts to reality, and like the lady's still talking, and she's just like, God damn it, I want this lady to shut up.
As soon as Toots can communicate with the locals, she's going to start being like, destroy your oppressors. Rise up.
Yeah, like the first thing Toot is like looking forward to is like she's like seeing if she can get the language down faster than these guys. So that's probably what she's going to be looking for.
Nice.
That's a tough task.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she's a diplomat first. She already knows a language. She's not. She dropped out of school, but I think she's very adept with learning languages. So
there you go. That makes sense. Cool. All right. Well, we see you guys get packed up. This envoy is put together. Everybody kind of loads everybody up. You guys are put into the third vehicle going out there.
Oh, we could
So
at least 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty big crew. So
I guess, there's a lot of supplies.
Yeah. So, and they're all hover. You guys...
Sand hover.
Yep. Just blasting a little pathway through the That's a nice thing, because you know how to get back. Because you sandblasted the ground.
Yeah, there's a clear
all the
paint has been
literally
It's like
trailblazing.
breadcrumbs, except it's sand.
And it's a different colored sand.
Oh,
So when the red, I don't.
Contrast, yeah. Wow.
I used to love fucking with sandblasters. That shit was so cool.
Yeah, I put my hand right in front of it and just ripping a hole.
I feel something.
Yeah, cool. My dad had a sandblaster, so like whenever we'd be working on a car, he'd be like, let's just go sandblast your spark plugs real quick to make sure they're clean. So just throw them in there and just clean it all off the gunk. It's cool. So you guys, we see this convoy leave out the front gate, dust, sand getting kicked up. It's like mid-afternoon, we'll say, by the time you guys are everything's up and loaded. And, all the vehicles have, like communications in them. So Sarah's coming over. She's like, we should be there. And it's probably going to take about 45 minutes or so to get to where we're going to be. So just enjoy the scenery. It's pretty flat. There's a lot of rocks. There's not a whole lot of variety, but just know that when we get to the entrance, you'll know we're there. And so we see, these, maybe do that pull-up pan view of these 3 vehicles, we'll say 4, snaking through the expanse of this planet. Just this trail, kind of kicking in this trail of sand and dust behind it. And eventually we cut to the front of a outcropping of rocks, like kind of like a not necessarily a cliff edge, but like a big, like rocks piled on top of each other. An outcropping, probably be a proper term of whatnot. And there is a large, like, hole that goes down, like almost like a badger den or something like that, like a den of an animal, where like the rocks are there, and then the earth is flattened, and eventually goes down in, but.
Is it maybe similar in size to the
yes,
to the whale creature?
Okay.
Exactly. This one, obviously, like the hole where it's at has been smoothed back a little bit more, so it's a quicker descent down in. But you see, there's like clearly lights have been put around there. They've marked it here with their kind of stuff. And as you approach, you see there are things carved into the rock themselves. There's one symbol carved over and over on the rocks that are very large. And it looks like this. I'm going to hand that to you guys. I will take a photo of it as well. It's not the Orsellian crew. It's on the back of the Orsellian crew.
So it's on multiple rocks, you said?
Yeah. Let's say there's like 4 or 5 rocks. This symbol is carved into each one of the rocks, like pretty prominently. Like it's probably the size, probably like 3 feet, like a meter by a meter.
Carved. Okay, I would ask Sarah, like, hey, what's this symbol? Is this you guys?
No. Those symbols were there before. I believe that's I think it's their clan symbol. That's what we've been able to gather. Like this kind of marks their territory of sorts.
Okay.
I want to describe it to the listeners here. So it looks like a circle with like 2 circles on the top and bottom of the circle, and then like a clock, looks like it has 2 hands in the middle, except that they're not like they go symmetrically through the center, and so there's 2 lines that go symmetrically through the center of the circle, like an hour hand and another hand, and then there's 2 circles on the end of those lines.
Yeah, it's like there's one at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and then
and one of the lines is a squiggly
1 and 7.5.
That's what their buttholes look like.
Yep.
That's true. Meescha figured it out.
Damn, that was quick. Look at that.
I got it.
And so we see you guys arrive, pull up to the space, and it's they start off loading everything, and Sarah turns to you.
Do you tend to just drop stuff off right here, or do we go further in?
No, we tend to not take the vehicles down there. Some of the slopes get pretty tough for the vehicles, so we'll have hover pallets for the items that keeps them pretty upright. But just to be safe, we want to be. If we get in there and we can't turn around or something happens, we'd rather be able to get up here. So you see them starting to offload, and we see you guys get out of the vehicles. The wind is blowing by. You're standing in front of this outcropping, and she tells everybody. Voice comes through the communication. Just all right. Make sure that your suits are on, levels are good, and we're going down. And you see them kind of just start to march down in there, and she's got this like big stick that she's kind of holding on to, and it seems like every like a minute or two she just slams it onto the ground. Just like, boom.
Very Dune, though.
Kind of, yeah. So, and we see you guys slowly make your way into this outcropping hole and press further and further into... It's not dark. There are, like, lights set up, lanterns set up every so often as you push your way in here.
Set up by would look like the outpost.
Yes, these ones. Yeah, definitely. And as you kind of push further and further down here, you see the walls of this cavern are pretty smooth. Like they look like they've been bored by something rather large. Maybe the size of one of those whales is what it looks like now that you've seen. But definitely, everyone could walk like shoulder to shoulder and be fine. So it is vastly wide.
I have a note to say, but I wasn't sure if you were trying to end this episode.
What you got?
Okay, so tell me if this isn't a technological thing that is possible, but
let's do it.
So, you tell me. But like the way I see this is like I have my drone, and I've been kind of like for the 45-minute drive here, I've been kind of programming it. If anyone's gonna tell me, it's to like essentially be able to go back to base like on its own, so I can record footage, and then like kind of it'll just kind of like if I don't like
black box drone in case we die.
Exactly. So essentially, like the way I see this is that it's recording like the positioning even in the tunnels. So it has like a 3D map of like how the tunnel is shaped. That way, it can just backtrack. That's all it needs to be able to do.
Well, I mean, like a Roomba can map
exactly.
the thing, so I don't see why a drone.
That's what I'm thinking. Is like this isn't super hard. Drones can do this right now, basically. But yeah, so I kind of like programming it to like know how to get back to the ship.
Sure.
If that happens,
cool.
And then once we get to the base of the tunnels, I go cool recording, positioning,
perfect.
Movement. Okay.
Yep, I think that's fine.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we see you guys pressing into this hole further and further. Eventually, that light disappears, and you're just kind of in this weird green ambient light set off by these lanterns. And we'll see what happens next time.
That's the sound of my drone. We have fun
God damn. Oh,
hey.
Thank you to our listeners.
yeah. Go read Doom Messiah and Children of Doom. Those books are
and
amazing.
God Emperor of Doom.
Yep.
I'm getting there. I can't recommend it yet, but the first 3 are ridiculously good.
Yeah, I stopped at the 3 in the first 3.
Like I think I texted Meescha that I was like, "This is the wildest shit I've ever read in my life."
I finished the first book of A Court in Thorns and Roses because
Oh,
I have a lot of
God.
girlfriends that have read it and they all are like, you need to read A Court of Thorns and
Is
Roses.
it actually good? No. Okay.
Unless you're a female with like you want like a lot of elven hunks to fight over you, if that is like your dream, then
I
who
would like that.
doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't want that aspect?
then read it. I mean, I understand why the demographic is there. I
Sure.
definitely do. But can I say it was well written? No. But can I say, will I read the second one? Absolutely.
There you go. See, that's all that matters.
I am a plebeian, as Jake would say.
A plebeian.
Probably on. If you're an aluminium.
I have a heart and also an elf thing, I guess. I like elves.
Yeah.
Well, originally, it was dragons, I thought. So, but
Oh, is it?
dragons and elves and
I don't know.
Maybe she hasn't got to the dragon part yet.
I haven't.
I don't. I've never read it, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
maybe the elves become dragons like that Warcraft.
Yep.
Like on Warcraft. So
What I'm saying
Like-
is I have a heart.
That's right. I forgot
And
about
that's
that.
why that I see why it's
I
popular.
mean, the elves, the dragons take multiple forms, but
No,
they're not
yeah.
just elves.
But
Alistraza was.
it's still recording, right? It's not
Yeah, it's good.
bitching out on us.
No, I have the screen set to save power.
Okay.
So it just turns off every
You
once in a while.
fucking bitch.
That's us
It
yelling
hears
at
you.
the-
We just talked about all this
Yeah, we just
technology.
Ah, dude, we apologize.
Yeah,
We're sorry, Nintendo. We know you're listening.
Oh, but I was explaining to Ricky what ROMs were.
Oh.
Because he's been watching a bunch of people play like older games,
That's dope.
and he's like, I really want to play like Mario Sunshine. I'm like,
Oh.
well,
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
wow,
know. I-
that's the older game.
I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you because we don't have a copy of Mario Sunshine, or we have a copy, but I don't have a Game Boy or our
GameCube.
Our GameCube doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
Like
you can get it on the
does-
Switch.
Yeah, so that game's $100.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the combo of
It's Mario Sunshine
and Mario Galaxy or something like that.
Dude,
It's Mario
Nintendo.
Sunshine.
I'm almost positive
There's a
you
3-pack.
can sign up for their like subscription where you can play the older games and
Maybe.
you just go to the GameCube
Yeah.
one and it's on.
Cool. If it's there,
think-
perfect. Because I
think-
was looking up like to buy that Switch console.
That's
The game itself was about
crazy.
120
That's
bucks.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
Right, so I'm like, oh,
emulate
well-
that shit, yeah.
Right, so I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be like someone probably has a Dolphin thing that you could plug
Yes.
into the Switch and play.
Yes.
There's nothing there. So then I was like, oh, well, I'll see about downloading Dolphin on my computer and going that route. It's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, son, let me tell you about ROMs.
You open your world.
Yes.
Yeah.
I played
just tell
every Mega Man X on the ROMs.
That's where my first time was playing Pokemon was on a Game Boy emulator.
Yep.
And I got really far, and then like I just couldn't like. I wanted to go play other places, but I couldn't. I just had to sit on my computer and play. So.
I unfortunately that's my only use for my Steam Deck is
Yeah.
Pokemon ROMs
Nice.
on it, and it just feels so good. Like
I
that,
bet.
that handheld.
Have you heard about like the Kaizo mod or whatever?
Kaizo Pokemon?
Kaizo Pokemon, yeah.
No,
It's
What?
basically like the hardest
I could use
mod
that.
of Pokemon that's ever existed. Like people spam it like thousands of times because it's so hard, and like people like have like maybe 2 career wins.
Maybe I don't need it that hard.
Because basically what it is like it's so it's basically and they made a Mario.
Kaizo Ironmon.
I like that.
So they made a
though.
Mario 64 version, and that's blown up.
So it's
too.
like a Nuzlocke run, but only with one
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Yes. So you basically are everything's randomized and it's built to be very difficult.
Wow.
Where like your first fight against Gary, you'll lose like five times out of
What?
like
So this is a good use of AI. Here's Google's AI summary of when I search for this. The challenge is designed to be difficult, unfair, and not fun.
That is Kaizo. I mean,
yeah.
That is awesome.
So,
I didn't
yeah.
know that because I'm tired of fucking dog walking Pokemon.
Oh, dude,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
beating
fun
Brock,
as fuck.
like
but-
beating Brock is like still one of the hardest things. Like most of your runs will die to Brock because like you essentially can't heal when you're trying to beat the dudes before Brock. You can't go back and heal, and so you kind of have to have a random Pokemon with a random skill set. That has good stats, right? You need enough speed so that you're like attacking first, and so like it's kind of all randomized. And so if you're really knowledgeable about Pokemon, it's fun because then you're identifying you're in the grass the best Pokemon. You're like, oh, this
Right.
seed has these 3 Pokemon available, and the random roll of its stats actually are really good, but its skill set isn't very, that kind of thing. And so yeah, there's a whole thing.
That's fucking.
Look
Goddamn.
up Kaizo.
I'm Bowser.
I like it. I can't say I ever. That's the only thing I've ever seen him in. I've never watched Friends. So.
Hey man, he's a big piece of man meat. You know.
Hey,
what I'm saying?
good for him.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I'm
there-
human.
I'm
okay?
not. No one's
Yeah.
taking
I
it
have
away
a
from you.
heart.
I feel like hard is just your keyword for like libido.
Yeah, exactly.
You just keep referring
I
to
think you
it.
keep using that word wrong.
They're the same picture.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a difference?
It's just like a Venn diagram. It's just a
Yeah,
circle.
it's just a circle, yeah.